Hello, hello, hello. How's
Hello.
everybody doing?
Wonderful.
Wonderful?
Great.
Wonderful. Well, my name is David, the digital creator, otherwise known as David Griffiths, and I am excited to be with two very special people this evening. But before I tell you about the special people, as is our practice whenever we go live, I always like people to let me know where you are tuning in from. And so sometimes we have people tuning in from somewhere else in Maryland. Sometimes people are tuning in from countries in Africa or in Europe, and sometimes even I think Japan, Korea, China maybe once. So I don't know. Maybe that was a person who was just joking. But I think we are able to reach people across the United States, Europe, Australia, and the Caribbean. So, and of course, the continent of Africa. There may be people today who have a desire, like I do, secret desire, to be a published author. If you want to be a published author, type a one in the chat. If you would like to tell your story, put a one in the chat. I want to be a published author. I don't know about you, but I think that one of the best things that we could do is to distill from the wisdom of our life experiences and share that wisdom with others. And so this evening, to help us on this journey, we have a very special guest, and then we have a very special co host this evening. So let me tell you about my co host first. For most of you, you know that if you see one of us, you often see the other. Growth Coach Danny is a mindset expert. He helps people to get out of their heads and to take action by believing in themselves and doing all the wonderful things he teaches us to do. Um, he is a wonderful father, a man of God who knows the scriptures. Sad to say, better than me often. And he's a wonderful interviewer as well, and he's also an author. So I figured he'd be the perfect person to help this evening. So, Coach Danny, welcome to our broadcast.
Thank you.
And then we have a guest this evening. Um, Hi, guest on YouTube. Welcome, by the way. All right, we have a guest who is an accomplished author. But before that, she was a professional singer and an educator. And there are many other things that she does well. But for this evening's conversation, she has facilitated many people discovering the beauty of becoming authors. She's been a published author herself. She's put together book collaborations to help people who were timid in the process. And even right now, she's getting ready to offer some special help to those of you who would like to take advantage of Black Friday. Black Friday is coming up in just a few weeks, and she has a special technique that will help you to be able to get your book out there relying on pre selling and Black Friday. So, without further ado, we welcome Dawn Francis. Thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello.
So, tell me, how are you doing this evening? Have the
I
young
am
people worn
fantastic.
you out?
I'm fantastic.
That's wonderful. I love your positive attitude. Tell me something. Why did you become an author?
Why did I become an author?
Yeah, why did you become an author?
Well, I became an author honestly because one, I'm a woman of faith,
Hmm.
and I am one who honestly believes in hearing the voice of God. And
Hmm.
so, honestly, I heard that voice. I heard his voice actually tell
Hmm.
me to to write a book.
Hmm.
And to make it quick, I heard it and I heard the title of the book. And I wrote it down and I put it in my phone. And years later,
Years later, you said.
years later, because I was like, I'm gonna do it. I know I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And
Mm,
then I felt this strong unction where it was almost as if my dad was in the room with me saying,
mm,
do it now. Do it right now. And I was like,
mm,
okay, I'll get to it. And then it was
mm,
like, no, I said, do it right now. Get busy. So honestly, with that experience, um, I started writing. I was like, oh, I'm gonna walk in obedience. So
okay.
I began my journey of writing and finding as much information as I could to accomplish the goal and that was set before me so that I can walk in my purpose.
If I can just say like that, I can relate to years. You said years like 4 times. She was like
Mhm.
years, years, and I think that there are people who are watching who also have had a book idea for years. If you're watching and you've had a book idea for years, just put years in the chat because everyone that I know has an idea about something, and many times we want to put in a book, we just don't know how. And it sits for years and years and years. And so it's good to hear that you know that struggle, but you also know the way out of that struggle. And I'd love for you to share a lot more about how we can go from years and years and years to all of these wonderful books getting into the hands of those that it's meant to bless.
Yes. Well, I think there is two sides to that. One is learning how to do it and then motivating yourself to get it done. Um, and when I say learning how to do it, I'm saying having the resources and the understanding and the knowledge of what it takes to complete the task. And then the other piece of it would be the inward motivation that a lot of us may not have. And sometimes it takes others to help to push that. If you don't have it within you, and a lot of us have it in us, but sometimes it's in you and you still need that swift kick, so to speak, to get you pushed and moved and motivated to get it done.
Swift.
Wow. Well, sometimes I don't like a swift kick, but if the results are worth it, I guess I can deal with the pain. What do you think is the thing that people know least about that if they knew, they'd probably start writing their book today?
I would say that it's probably not as difficult as you think. It's probably not going to take as long as you think. If you have the right resources and the right supports, it doesn't have to take you 3 years to write that book. Just because it's a big book doesn't mean that it has to take you 5 years to get it completed, right? So
Right?
I think a lot of times people are overwhelmed by the task with the thought of, oh my God, it's a book,
Mm,
and not only is it a book, but it also needs to be at a level of excellence that won't embarrass me. So
mm,
there shouldn't be any misspelled words and it shouldn't be any grammatical errors and all of that. So when you look at that as a task and you think of it as you doing it only yourself, it can be very, very overwhelming. Very, very overwhelming. But you just have to know that you can't do it all by yourself.
Wait, I think we need to say that one again. In fact, uh, those of you listening on YouTube, if you could share this broadcast, or those of you who are on Facebook, if you could share this with anybody you know who wants to be an author and has been putting it off. What did you just say, Dawn?
I said you can't do it by yourself.
You can't do it by yourself.
Not all, not every single thing. And if you do, um, okay, there are some extremely gifted people. I know some of them. I have a particular sister in law who is, I told her she's not normal because she has photogenic memory and she is extremely brilliant.
Mm,
But But even with that, sometimes we need a little bit of help.
Mm.
Because sometimes when you look at your work, you don't see the mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You don't see the words and you may not see the errors and the mistakes, but someone with a pair of fresh eyes will absolutely see that. That's why I am a person who strongly believes in having a wonderful editor and a proofreader to make sure that it's where it needs to be and at a level of excellence that it should be.
That's powerful because what we're putting out as a book, it's going to live a really long time. And if it's going to be, if it's going to go places where we can't, we would want it to reflect a high level of quality. And so I think that's why you probably mentioned having the resources that are accessible to do it and do it well, do it right, and make sure that when you do have your book release, that it's a quality product.
Absolutely.
So I'm I'm wondering, for those of us who might not have a trust fund, are there ways that we could come up with the resources to take care of these who's that you're telling us about that we need to have because we
Because it
can't do
sounds
it alone?
expensive. It sounds expensive, and there are people probably who have great ideas, but not a great big budget. What help us, Don? What do we do? Do we have to wait years and years and years, or is it something we can do right now?
Well, what you could do is you could take my masterclass on Saturday. And when you do that, you're going to be given the tools and the information to help you to pre publish your book. And you're going to pre publish your book and you're going to use marketing to help you to do a Black Friday special where you can actually pre sell your book. Funds can be coming in as your book is being fully completed.
Huh?
Pre-publish? Can you just break that down?
Yeah,
Because it
break
sounds
that
really
down.
Okay, so to pre-publish a book, there's specific things that you must have accomplished first.
mhm.
Oftentimes, there are authors who don't have the product fully completed yet. Fully completed, I mean every single chapter written and edited and all of that. But they have all of the other items that are needed. All of the other items that are needed for you to pre-publish your book and get it set and ready for pre-sale.
So
Pre-sale, pre your launch, pre your everything. And those funds that come in are not funds that you can't take those funds and then not deliver. You have
that's
to
true.
deliver.
Right.
So those things that you have to accomplish and have in for publishing purposes, you have to have all those things done, and then you can pre-publish your book.
So Danny, I don't know. I think it sounded like she said as long as we are responsible, we're not going to go on a vacation once we get people to give us money.
I don't know.
That
Spain had those really good deals to Puerto Rico.
There's that little word called integrity.
Woo! Okay.
There's that little word called integrity. And trust and believe, whether it's Amazon or any place else, they're going to ensure that you do exactly what you said you will do.
Mm.
Beautiful. So what I'm hearing you say is there are strategies that we aren't aware of because we haven't done the thing before that actually open the door for most anybody under the sound of our voices to be able to publish their own book right now.
You absolutely can. You can do it one of two ways. You can either self publish
Okay.
and be walked through that process,
Okay.
or you can shop a deal where you get a publisher to publish it for you.
Now,
So
what are
I'm.
the
Oh
advantages
yeah.
or disadvantages of each?
Of course, there are advantages and disadvantages in both. Would you like me to speak to that?
Yes.
Or would you like to speak to it, Mr. Williams?
Oh no, I'm curious from you that
Okay.
true.
So if you self publish, going through the process, learning the process, it is work. But then you do not have a third party or a second party taking your funds. You can get your book wholesale, whether it be on Amazon or elsewhere, whether you're selling it from your website, because that's also doable. You sell it from your website, sell it from your car, sell it to at your church, sell it at your events. You can do all of that without putting it on Amazon. Okay. You can do your book launch with your family and your friends and your community. And you can pre-sell your book and do your book launch. And I've seen people make thousands of dollars just with that.
Wait, hold on,
So
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
if
You
you
said thousands of dollars?
Rewind.
yes, rewind.
Yes.
How do you
Somebody
do
needs to share this with, like, you
I
didn't
got
share it
it.
before when I asked, but did you hear what she said? Y'all thought we were just talking about like 10, 20 bucks. Come on. How many did you say?
I said you could make thousands of dollars.
So
Absolutely.
you've seen people, or you've done this, and you know that it works.
I know that it works.
Okay. All right.
I know that it works.
You need to give us this master class, because I'm telling you right now, there are way too many people that I know who say they want to write a book, but
Okay.
it's just been years and years and years. And if they knew that they were going to get thousands with a S, they would have it out tomorrow. They would be in the master class. When is the master class, number one? Because
Yeah, when
I
is that
believe,
masterclass?
yeah.
Please.
It's Saturday evening at 5 o'clock.
Okay, and where how can we find out where this is, and what how to make sure we don't miss it? And if there's going to be a second um, time where we can take advantage, somebody's busy during that time. Like, is there no hope? Are we just left behind?
Oh, there's always hope. So if all of the seats are filled and I have people still asking, we'll put in another time for it without question. I've actually already had some people ask me for another time. But as soon as all the seats are filled, we'll put out another segment so that we can do it again.
Okay,
I love this.
I need to hear more. You said thousands.
Yeah, I mean, she got my attention. So let me do this. Let's just pull up on the screen. So when you go to blackfridaybookmasterclass.com, blackfridaybookmasterclass.com, you will see this lovely lady smiling, and she's pointing you to the information, and then you click the reserve your spot today button. Now, there's something that you didn't talk about yet that I, just because I'm your friend, I think I know something. Like, um, Danny and I, we attended a challenge, and Danny and I, we wanted to attend the challenge, and we understood that there were different levels of access that you get at the challenge. Like, you could do the general admission, or you could do something a little bit more engaging that they would call like a VIP experience. Now, how about for you with your challenge? Is it everybody is the same, or are there levels of access that we can get?
There are levels of access, and the levels of access will give you more access to me, of course, where we can work more closely and you will get more information and it will thrust you faster and further.
Okay. All right. So, y'all, if you want the thrust further, faster, further, that would be the VIP experience, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, recently, Danny and I went to Atlanta, and a friend of mine, she said, "Hey, David, one of my girls is having this special event. Would you like to attend? It's a networking event." I said, "Sure." I mean, I'm excited because I have so many great clients, and I know that Content Creating Academy, we have the ability to help people to get the word out about the wonderful things that they do. And so I said, "Okay, let's go." And then she gave me the link, and when I went to the page, there was an option. I could do general admission, which would allow me to enter the event and enjoy it, or there was the VIP option. Now, the VIP option allowed me more access, and then it allowed me to mingle with people who had also chosen the VIP option. And so I chose the VIP option because I know that I want to invest in myself. I want to know that I've done the best to allow what God has put into me to go out and serve in the world. And so I'm not always able to do it, but when I can, I would recommend the VIP. Now, Danny, would you say that that's a good option to
Hands
take?
down, yeah, you definitely like. I'm even looking at this from an exclusive masterclass. It's not for everybody. It's for
Mm,
action takers. It looks like aspiring authors, people who have maybe started writing but just haven't published yet to refine their skills. Like what skills? We got to come to this masterclass to learn, elevate their storytelling. Like there's so much that I see could be gleaned from this experience VIP that's 1 hour earlier, that's a lot of value.
mm.
That's a lot of value. Now, will is there going to be a limited number of questions? The timed, like how would I know if I had a question that I would be able to answer, have it answered by um, our dear sister Dawn Francis? Is that what could you say about the question answer? Because I've got questions.
Well, for those who are VIP, we're going to make sure that all of your questions are answered within the time frame that we have. And I will also be making myself more available to those who are in need of additional assistance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I needed to hear. I know what path I need to take. Now, Dawn, and I know you're a very busy person, so we're grateful that you took time out to talk with us. But what's the important takeaway from everything that we've said? That if someone's sitting on the fence, they're going like, "Okay, I know I should have done this a long time ago. I've been putting it off. I'm probably scared, honestly. There's the kids, the there's just so many the stress, the election, so much stuff was on everyone's mind, and well, now the election's over, and but we just get stuck, and we're afraid to take action. What would you say to that person who's on the fence? Should
What
they
I
really
would
come to
say,
this event?
can you say that last summit one more time?
Should they really come to this event?
Absolutely. Why? Because there's no time like the present.
Mm.
And somebody is waiting for your story. There's a purpose for it. There's a purpose for you sharing whatever it is that God has placed in your heart for someone else to learn from. They're waiting, and you don't want them to wait indefinitely. So, I strongly, strongly want to encourage you to push yourself to make it happen because there's no time like the present. And honestly, life is short.
Mm.
That's the truth. Life is short. So you want to indeed um, walk in your purpose and make sure that you fulfill that purpose.
Yeah, I wanted to just one more point of clarity that I need. It says Black Friday. Are you talking about this Black Friday? You, you're
Oh, 2024.
you saying that what you're gonna tell us this Saturday is gonna help us to be able to have a Black Friday 2024 in a couple weeks, something to pre-sale and potentially get thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from.
That is most definitely the possibility. Absolutely. You can do it.
Okay, you said it.
I
I'm gonna
believe it.
be looking for that information.
Amen.
Okay.
All right. Well, Dawn, I just want to remind people if you just tune into the broadcast, Dawn Francis is a wonderful coach, and she's giving us the secret sauce. I wanted to say this. I was watching Ed Milet on a podcast recently, and I remember he said that he's pre-sold the last book that he put out. It wasn't done, but he was selling it. Did you all realize that the famous people that you see that are selling things, that's often what they're doing, but they know what Don knows. Don has the secret sauce. That's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't have known that's what you should be doing. But if you find someone who's done what you want to do, go pay them what they're asking for and get the wisdom from them so you don't waste your time doing things that don't work.
That part.
Yes.
That part.
So thank you so much, Don, for this wonderful opportunity. Black Friday, what's it called? Black Friday Book Masterclass?
Yes.
BlackFridayBookMasterclass.com. Visit there now so that you can register. Seats are limited, but she said today, don't lose heart. There is going to be another opportunity based upon the amount of people that are requiring or inquiring about it. So I'm excited for my audience to be able to discover what you have to offer, Dawn. And my prayer is that somebody who didn't know exactly what the next step is will listen to this broadcast and click on the URL and sign up. And I want us to come back together after the fact and share their story.
Yes.
Because I know that you're a coach and you have other offerings, and I think you have some other things coming up for the new year as well. So Danny, if you can find time in your schedule, it'd be great for the three of us to come back together and share a follow-up, right? So that you'll see, like, we're being sincere. You'll see what were the actual results. You'll see what were my results. Like, I'm planning to take her up on this wisdom. So let's see if it works for David. So the same way that people go, oh, David has 1.5 million followers, I'm sure he can teach me a thing or two about how to grow on social media. Well, in the same way, Dawn, how many books have you written?
5.
Dawn has written 5 books. Wow. I guess she might know a thing or two about being an author. So I would encourage you to take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. Danny, is there anything I forgot that I should say?
Yes, I'm just seeing that Don was talking about me on this page at the very top of it. I didn't even realize that until she said it. She's calling me. I'm one of the future best-selling authors, and I can't wait to get this information that's going to have that thought become a reality. Don, I'm looking forward to seeing what God's going to do through you, because there's a lot of really good books that are waiting to be written, and my next book is one of them.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
All right, you all, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're catching the rebroadcast of this, the date is November 16, 2024. And we look forward to you being able to take advantage of this wonderful opportunity so you can share your story with the world and be a blessing to someone who needs to hear it. All right, you all have a very good evening.
Thank you.
Dawn.
Nice meeting you, Mr. Danny Williams.
Pleasure meeting you as well, and I look forward to the thousands and thousands that we will have in impact and income. Thank you.
Yes. Awesome.
All right. You guys hang by for a second. All right. Thank you all. Blessings to you. Okay. So when let me make sure the broadcast is over.
The red button's still going. It doesn't say stop.
Okay, the red button has not said stop.
No, it's at 29, 32, 33, 34. Am I still live?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe. I guess the stop button was the stop for the share, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so gang, remember to hang tight for a moment because Riverside uploads after we're done the broadcast. So I look forward to seeing you on the outside.
Does that mean hang up now?